You're going to want to check this out if you're looking for a good, cheap summer fragrance. So stay tuned. Hey, what's going on, guys? Hunter here and welcome back to my channel where I upload weekly fragrance content. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and also be sure to follow me over on my Instagram page. But today we are actually reviewing Jimmy Choo's Man Ice. Now, this is a fragrance I picked up maybe around 3 or even over 3 years ago. For the summertime, I found it for a great price. I was like, why not? But as of recent, this isn't really one I reach for that often, and we'll talk about why that is a little bit later in the video. But before we do, let's go over some information. Now, Jimmy Choo's Man Ice was launched back in 2017. As far as the retail price for the 100 ml, it is $80. However, do not spend $80 on this fragrance because you can get it discounted heavily on discounters or even at rack stores like TJ Maxx, Burlington, or even Marshall. So definitely look around if you're wanting to get this fragrance because you can find it extremely cheap. I think if you're looking, you can find a 100 ml for below or around the $30 mark, so that is definitely budget friendly. Now, the concentration with this one is an eau de toilette. That just means it isn't the highest in perfume oils, and it doesn't mean it's necessarily the lowest in perfume oils either. So it is a little bit concentrated, but not that much. As far as the perfumer, it is Michael Almerac, who is actually behind a lot of Bond No. 9s, but he also created Dior Fahrenheit, which is a cult classic, as well as Homme. So he's definitely been around for some time and has made some classic masterpieces in a lot of people's opinions. With all that information out of the way, let's look at the packaging and presentation you get with Jimmy Choo's Man Ice now. All right, we're going to take a look at the bottle because the box is absolutely buried. I could not find it, but looking at this bottle, guys, it just screams like summertime refreshing. I love the white gradient down to the clear on the bottom. Of course, Jimmy Choo Man Ice. On the bottom of the bottle, you do have your sticker with some of your information. Nothing on the back, nothing on top of the cap, but this cap is leather wrapped. Clearly not real leather, but it still has a nice kind of alligator skin texture to it. Nothing inside, nothing on the atomizer, but these do click into place very snugly. All in all, the aesthetic is nice. In the top, you have citron, bergamot, and mandarin orange. In the mid, you have apple, vetiver, cedarwood, and patchouli. And in the base, you have musk, ambroxan, and oak moss, and this will be classified as a citrus fresh. So let's spray this and test out these atomizers, which are really good actually. Look at that stuff, guys. One of the best designer atomizers, especially at this price point. It is pressurized, so you can spray a little bit, or you can spray a lot like I do for myself. And you're probably gonna need it with this one as well. So let's go and see what this Jimmy Choo Man Ice is all about from the top. So the first thing that's gonna pop in your head when you smell this is it's so refreshing, guys. Like a cold, refreshing lemonade. I get a huge lemonade vibe from this one. And it has like a cooling factor as well, which is awesome. The only downside with this opening is it can be a little bit too sharp for some people. If you're not really into those like sharp citrus notes, this might not necessarily be for you. However, if you like something that is so energetic and refreshing and literally smells like lemonade, I think you would appreciate this. Obviously, there's no lemon listed in that top. You have the citron, bergamot, and the mandarin orange. I think the lemonade vibe is coming from both that citron and that bergamot kind of combined together. That's kind of giving it that nuance. It's not really like too tart or citric or nothing along those lines either. It's actually a really good citrus opening, especially for the price point you can get these at. Like I said, around $30. You cannot beat the way this smells. Obviously, it does have some downsides, but we'll talk about that later. But straight off the bat, guys, the top of this stuff is wonderful. I'm not really getting much of that orange note in the top. It's just, like I said, the citruses from the citron and bergamot combined. Now, once you make our way into the mid, you do have that woody note. You have vetiver, you have patchouli, you have the apple note. The main thing I'm getting, this fragrance is not complex. I will let you know that. It is pretty linear, which means it's not going to change a lot from the top, mid, and base. It will stay the same for the most part. However, there are slight changes once you do get into the mid, and what stands out the most to me is a clean vetiver note. It's not earthy, it's not really dry, it's not wet, it's not grassy, not green, it's just really, really clean. Not getting any of the apple, the cedarwood, or that patchouli, just a clean vetiver. And you are still getting the citruses as well once that vetiver starts to kind of peek through. I have heard this get compared to like Dior Homme cologne, which also smells like lemonade from what I've heard. I don't own Dior Homme cologne. I don't even really think I've ever smelled it either, but I have heard there are similarities between these two. Of course, Dior Homme Cologne is a lot more expensive than Jimmy Choo Man Ice, so this still might be the better route to go. Because trust me, you're not finding Dior's at the rack stores or even necessarily on the discounters either. They are very rare to find at those locations. So if you happen to be on a budget, this is definitely the route to go. Finally, in the base of Jimmy Choo Man Ice, which does come fairly quickly, it's not going to take long to finally get to that final step of this DNA. But what you're going to be left with is a extremely clean white musk. It's not animalic, it's not furry, it's not like deer musk or anything like that. Just a well-rounded clean white musk, along with that very modernized ambroxan, which also kind of comes across musky, kind of similar to ambergris. Yeah, you get a heavy dose of that ambroxan and that clean white musk. Not necessarily a lot of that oak moss, unfortunately. I love oak moss, but this one, there's no earthy qualities to it at all. Just through and through from the top, mid, and base is extremely clean smelling. Not like laundry clean or dryer sheets or soapy, not like that. Just like fresh kind of citrus clean. And even though I got this fragrance over 3 years ago, even to this day, I don't have anything that even smells like this in my collection, like lemonade. So if I'm into that mood, I want to smell like lemonade, I'm definitely still reaching for Jimmy Choo Man Ice. Now let's talk about the best seasons and occasions to wear Jimmy Choo Man Ice. Of course, from that note breakdown and the way I described this is definitely suited for the spring and summer. Probably even more so the summer when it's extremely hot outside, like 90, 100 degrees out. Because sometimes in the spring it can be still a little bit chilly out, especially in the evenings. This one though is more suited for very, very hot weather when you are sipping on a nice cold lemonade. Definitely not the fall or winter. There's nothing that screams cold weather about this fragrance by any means. Plus it will be gone very, very quick if you do try to spray this in the wintertime. Now for occasions, this is actually a very, very casual fragrance. There's nothing formal about this. This isn't the fragrance that you spray on when you want to like put on a nice dress shirt or a suit or nothing along those lines. This is not a business fragrance. It's casual, like I said. If you're just hanging out with buddies, you're wearing shorts, you're wearing like a Hawaiian shirt in the summertime by the beach or by the poolside or something like that is the best time to wear Jimmy Choo Man Ice. And it's very rare to have strictly a casual based fragrance because a lot of times, as we know, you can dress fragrances up, you can dress fragrances down, but there's just something so casual and playful and fun and energetic about this one that I just do not see wearing this one in a suit or nothing. Not even really a date night or even going into the office. This is strictly for having fun, in my opinion. Now for gender and age groups, of course this is targeted towards men. It's Jimmy Choo Man Ice. However, there's nothing that screams masculine about this one. I actually could see a woman pulling this off very, very well. So don't let that name kind of fool you, Jimmy Choo Man Ice. I think it does still lean very, very unisex. Both a guy and a woman can rock this fragrance. As far as age groups, that kind of goes along with the best occasions being very casual and playful. This is a very youthful leaning fragrance. There's nothing mature about this one. I could probably see this being a great teenager fragrance. If you're in your mid-teens, you're looking to get a fragrance on a budget, you just go to like TJ Maxx or Marshalls. You go in there, you see this one. I think this is probably one of the best bets to get at that age because obviously at rack stores, you have a lot of classics, old school fragrances that are very, very mature. This one though is youthful. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean if you are 30s, 40s and up, you can't wear this one. You still can, but at the end of the day, this is a playful, youthful fragrance. Of course, now wrapping things off on the performance of Jimmy Choo Man Ice, and this is where it takes a back turn. A huge back turn at that. This is its huge downside to this fragrance. It's like the kryptonite to Superman when it comes to performance for Jimmy Choo Man Ice because it's definitely below average. Actually, probably one of the worst performing fragrances in my entire collection and that I've ever tested. That's so unfortunate because the scent profile, this stuff does smell really, really good, but you're only gonna smell good for a few hours at that. On skin, I got up to 5 hours. But maybe even 4 hours, guys. That 5 hours is me trying to do this fragrance a little bit more justice. But yeah, you're gonna get 4 hours guaranteed, possibly 5, depending on the situation, the weather and stuff like that outside. And as far as the projection, this thing will project for maybe an hour with that bright, kind of sharp top note. So this is the kind of stuff you wanna spray if you're going to the gym. That kind of goes along with the occasions, very casual if you just want to smell clean. Definitely a fragrance to maybe take with you, put it in a decant or something like that to reapply before you go do something so people can't smell you for the first hour, maybe hour and a half. But after that, it's going to become very, very close to the skin. People will have to get like very close to you, probably too close for comfort to even smell you after that maybe 2 hours mark. And then from the remaining 2 to 4 to 5 hours, it will be extremely close into a skin scent. However, this isn't really a fragrance you are going to want to spray and wear all day long anyways, since it's suited for a strict kind of environment and occasion. Still, I wish this one did give us better performance, and my fragrance has been maturing for 3 years and it hasn't really made a difference whatsoever. Who knows, maybe even the new bottles are even worse because, like I said, mine is 3 years old. But that's going to do it for this review. Let me know down below if you ever tried Jimmy Choo Man Ice or any of the Jimmy Choos at all. I'm very curious because Jimmy Choo does not get a lot of hype by any means when it comes to designer fragrances. A lot of people just think they are cheap because you can't find them at a huge discount. But leave a like on the video if you did enjoy this review. Comment down below and subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll catch all of you here in my next video. Take care, everybody.